At number 8 on our countdown, the Aurora UFO incident.
Aurora, Texas, April 17th, 1897. In the early morning hours, residents in this rural town are working in their fields when suddenly they see a strange, cigar-shaped object hurtling towards Earth, then crashing in a fiery blaze on the property of Judge J.S. Proctor.
In those days, this was before television, before jet aircraft, any big noise got your attention. Plus, the ground shook, so they knew something tremendous had happened.
2 days after the crash, on April 19th, 1897, the incident was reported in the Dallas Morning News.
It is said that when the explosion has happened, people run out and find that there is actually a creature lying about. This creature is of otherworldly origins, that it is non-human. What they decide to do is actually to bury the creature in the local cemetery.
The event quickly faded from memory and was largely forgotten until the 1970s, when ufologists decided to revisit the case.
I consider the Aurora spaceship crash the smoking gun of the UFO controversy because in 1897, this was 6 years before the Wright brothers flew, and yet here is a well-documented UFO 6 years before there was anything man-made in the air.
Is it possible the mysterious airship that crashed in Aurora, Texas, was a visitor from another world? For ancient astronaut theorists, the ultimate proof might be buried in the pilot's grave. But when investigators took up the case in the 1970s, they found that the tombstone that marked the gravesite was missing.
I first got onto the Aurora story back in 1973 and was there before the tombstone went missing, and actually probably one of the few people around who still remember where the actual gravesite was. Now, the little grave was located right here. It was a short little grave. That of a child or a very small person. And the two little headstone, the marker, was right about there.
Is it possible that an extraterrestrial being is buried at the Aurora Cemetery? Despite this astonishing possibility, requests to examine the remains have been denied.
Researchers wanted to exhume the body, but the local cemetery association wouldn't let them.
Just what crashed in Aurora, Texas, and who was buried in the small grave remains a mystery. But in 1976, this strange chapter in the town's history was memorialized on a plaque at the entrance to the cemetery. Today, people continue to visit and leave offerings for the supposed alien being. And for many researchers, the peculiar encounter from 1897 remains one of the most compelling UFO crashes ever reported.